Okay, hey everyone. Thank you so much for being on board with me for this beautiful event of sustainable fashion. So I thought it'd be easier to do a little video and to instead of doing all the writing and the reading. So a lot of this is repetitive, but what I'm going to do is just go over the facts as I know them right now. And then I'm going to read from my book that I wrote on Recycle, Inspire, Create, and Reviving Earth with Historical Cultural Arts. Just a prose that I had written in here on the mindset. And I think this, and then I'll tell you the songs that you'll be walking to. And I think this this prose, this mindset, this when I work, this is where I'm working from. And so it's in deep appreciation for the way the Japanese farmers worked and fishermen worked in the 14, 15, 16, up to 1700s. It was up, I mean, it went into the 1819s. But when you got into the 1900s, things started to get a little bit more used for adornment. So these were times when things were made out of necessity because the families were just so poor. They had no access to garments to keep them warm. So they had to start using patches and patch on top of patch and staggering patches and building and reinforcing clothing from patches. So that's what this is really all about, is appreciating the culture and then trying to encourage others to recycle. So, but before I read that, so a couple of things. The hair, okay? Not my hair, your hair. The hair, I think, can be worn either way here. Really, I'm thinking you can keep it. I kind of would like it back in a low ponytail, but I'm also thinking it would probably be lovely to have it loose if you want it loose. The only thing we're not aspiring towards is having it, way up on top of the head, because we're going to be wearing the hats. So keeping the hair simple, and simplicity is really the key here, and you'll get it more after I read this. But shoes, flat shoes, not anything fancy, like with the bling on them and stuff, but just flat, earthly, or sandals. Okay, no Crocs. The Crocs and the flip-flops, I feel are very, very dangerous to be wearing, walking up and down the stairs and where you're walking a lot. So something that's flat and fits well on your foot, so you can walk with ease. No jewelry, like I said, if it's your wedding ring, you know what I mean, or something special you wear all the time, but nothing like loud or glass beaded, vintage. Like I love to wear those, but for this no. And let's see. Okay, so for the makeup, for those of you who do your own makeup, kind of just in a very subtle way, if you know how, just emphasize your features. And maybe if you wear lipstick, make it like soft colors, not like a loud, vibrant red. And the same with your eyes. If any of you know how to do the smoky eye, I think that would be lovely for people seeing that from the audience. I think that just would emphasize the eyes a little bit. Now I'm going to also say it is not necessary to wear makeup. I am very allergic to makeup, to a lot of things, but makeup really makes my eyes even if it's hypoallergenic, my eyes cannot deal with it. So you do not have to wear makeup. Okay, this is where we're lucky, because this is a humbling experience. So now t-shirts. My friend, who is quite the fashionista, said, "Oh, I have all my t-shirts, all colors ready." And she got me thinking, because I said to her, no, I changed my mind from the colors, and I'm thinking black and white. But now this is what I'm thinking, because she got me thinking. And I'm thinking, whatever t-shirt you want like this, in this color range, earthly tones, black, white, gray, green, like a soft orange coral type deal, or yellow. So because I'm thinking the earthly colors, so I'm staying away maybe from like pink or loud red or hot pink like that. Stay away from those. So in this range, so something, or like a hunter green, or if you have a blue gray, or you're thinking like that. And you have any questions, let me know. So thank you, my friend fashionista. Okay, now, and the venue. So you can be there. The designers are going to be there like for 3 o'clock, most likely. I know I am, because the building is open at 3, and I'm going to be there at 3. I want to get a space ready for you. So I don't, unless unless it's really good for you to show up at 3, I would say you do not need to show up at 3. And what I need to do at 3, I feel like it anyway, is to get space for us to be able to work in, and for you to be comfortable in getting your outfits on, okay? And they have a bathroom there. If you need to bring snacks and drinks and stuff, bring your stuff you need to eat to keep your energy up, because this it causes, it takes a lot of energy, right, to do this. Okay, so that, and I'm sure there's questions, so if you have questions, let me know. So I'll show up at 3, and I'm thinking you guys can show up anytime, like from 4 o'clock on, I think would be really great. And that gives us time we're going to have last minute adjustments, most likely. I am working on, except for just a few, I am working on making the straps adjustable in the front. So I'm trying to it's taking me time, because I'm trying to do it in a way that for me, it just adds to the aesthetic. I don't want it to take away and be a rush job. I want this to look nice. So I'm trying to do that, because one, I think just my experience from seeing all the different sizes and people trying on and having different adjustments, I really believe that going forward, I would like to make my aprons adjustable. So that's another thing. Now's the time. So I want to do it in a way that's really different. So that's what I'm working on. So the mindset of all of this is this: Boro-inspired art, understanding and creating. My mindset and prose. So I write in poetry and prose very easily. It's the only, I know I'm very articulate, but seriously, for deep feelings and things I'm very passionate about, it's got to go in a prose, or it's got to go in a poem. So I'm going to read you a poem also. So let's read the poem first, because it's a couple of poems here. in this book, I'm making my point about how important it is for our earth to recycle. So you understand when you're wearing these, just how deeply I feel and what we're doing. Our statement together as a group. So this is our earth. The truth, our earth suffers. Lunar energies disconnect as waves lose their rhythm. Oceans refuse to recognize boundary as they swell with rage, saturated in mountains of stagnation, crusted onto their foamy peaks, while Earth's table shakes due to constant construction, ripping into woodlands, war bombs, exploding as pipelines continue to protrude into the volcanic veins of our living Earth. Earth's table shakes, warning us it's weakening. Earth's table shakes until mountains unhinge and slide into villages, crevices open, swallowing all in its path. A single rainfall instigates more chaos, more floods, more wave surges. Air is caught up unto itself. It can no longer move, and so human beings can no longer breathe. By Carmella-T. Okay, me. Let me put the light on, and so I can read this. Okay, so that gives you an idea. This will adjust in a second. Okay, so this is the last thing I'm going to read, and then I'll tell you the songs, or unless I already told you. Okay, so I'll just tell you again. Anyway, so the mindset. My heart, mind, and soul transports to ancient Japan in the 1500s. By the light of the fire, I stitch mindfully with a pace of urgency clad with weariness. I am concerned about my loved one being warm, and I must mend this torn garment today. Light by the fire is minimal, as is the warmth. I stitch to mend, as I stitch midday is upon us, and dampness creeps into our tiny space. I must stop stitching to tend to the fire. My hands are raw and cold. Our food is minimal. I stitch with the few mending tools handed down to me by my mother, so dear to my heart. I am grateful for the needle and thread and a worn-out piece of fabric I have to work with today. I will make the best of it. I will mend it, repair it, and sew it onto another piece of fabric, and then reinforce it with overstitching. I need the threads to be on the surface and under the surface. These sashiko stitches strengthen the worn-out fabric. My focus is to patch this torn coat, so my loved one will be a little warmer and more comfortable tomorrow. Love and light, Carmella. This is the mindfulness from where I believe the Boro brought me. It brought me to a mindfulness of such goodness and love and light from where these garments were being made for their loved ones in the 1400s, 15, 16, 1700s in Japan. So that's the mindset. So when you are walking and you hear this music of the there's two songs. I think they're going to do both, but one is Scars to Your Beautiful. So if you know that song, I think it's by Alyssa. You'll find it. Just put "Scars to Your Beautiful," and I put it to your walking the other day on TikTok. So it's on my TikTok, which is Carmella-T 7110 on TikTok. So that song, I feel, is a metaphor for everything that the people went through in the 1500s in very harsh cold winters and trying to stay warm and mending, and then passing it down to their families. Large quilts as big as rugs to keep their families warm inside the house, and then the garments of coats, scarves, and hats, and mittens that would get worn, and then they patch them up. So I feel, I just feel it's a metaphor to that even though they were in a society where they had all these patches on, today in Japan, there's like those coats, Boro coats, are like $800. They're an adornment. But back then, to me, they were so beautiful at that time. So "Scars to Your Beautiful." The second song is by Mandessa, who has unfortunately passed away this past year of long COVID. She was just a shining light. And the song she wrote was, I feel, again, it just says it all. It says, "We all bleed the same." So if you haven't heard it, look it up. It's by Mandessa. Hopefully the DJ can get that song for me. But that song is also very appropriate because of I am advocating to give credit and to recognize and to share and to learn and grow through historical cultural arts. So and that's basically it. I hope this isn't too long, but I figured this was the easiest way. Instead of trying to write everything, copy this, have you read it, it's just kind of share with you because you were looking for vibes and the idea and the concept, and so I hope this helps with that. And so anyway, I continue to use my Boro methods to make the adjustments, to come up with different creative ways to keep creating and making you look beautiful on the 5th. So here we go. That's my dancing song. So anyway, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer.